Hi, my name is TylereLuke, and after reading The Richest Man in Babylon, I was able to come up with a financial plan for the first 5 years following graduation. After graduation, I want to have a job that pays $150,000 in salary. With that salary, I can make $12,500 a month. My goal is to save almost $2,000 a month and increase that by $600 each year for my savings account. My goal for my emergency fund is to save between $600 and $1,200 a month every other year. Creating this budget will help me achieve my goals by letting me know where I am financially. It will also keep me on track so that I stay where I want to be goal-wise. Some of the key elements I should consider when developing this budget are how much I make a month, monthly living expenses, taxes, and etc. I will start off saving 15% of my monthly income and add 5% to that each year. My goal is to have $170,000 in savings. For my emergency fund, I will save between 15% and 10% monthly every other year. My goal is to have $50,000 in my emergency fund. I plan to use my savings to pay off some college loans, buy a house, and travel a little bit. Start thy purse to fattening. In The Richest Man in Babylon, Arkhead told the men to save 1/10 of their earnings. So since my income is fairly large, I decided to save 15% instead of 10% of my earnings. My emergency fund has at least 6 to 8 months of living expenses just in case I get laid off or unusual circumstances occur. However, since my emergency fund has a decent amount of money to keep me stable, my savings can also help establish my financial security because I have at least 6 to 12 months worth of savings left over after I pay off my loans and buy my house. In conclusion, control thy expenditures applies to both budgeting and emergency fund. Arkhead gave the men advice to not confuse their necessary expenses with their desires and to budget their expenses so they can pay their necessities, indulge in their enjoyments, and worthwhile desires without spending most of their earnings. With this, I figured out a budget that would meet all of this advice so that I have money to spend on necessary things and extracurricular activities. Also, I have an emergency fund just in case. Analysis and research helped me commit my funds toward an investment that has reasonable expectation of profit. Mutual funds are an excellent example of reasonable profit expectations because they are good for small investors like me. The role my personality plays in determining an investment strategy is that if I like to take risks in order to have a bigger reward, then I'll do that. If I'm afraid to take risks, then I'd pick a more safe investment. By compounding my earnings, my money will make money without any effort on my part. The concepts that relate to investing are seek the advice of the wise. In doing this, I will do exactly what Arkhead said. Ask the wise for advice. For example, individuals that save, spend, and make their fortune grow. The other concept is make thy dwelling a profitable investment. Arkhead said if you rent all your life, you'll have nothing to show for it. That's why with my savings, I will plan to buy my own house so that I have something to show for it. To employ diversification to mitigate risk of my financial resources, I will invest my money in mutual funds. This will allow me to invest in many assets so that loss in any one investment is minimized by any gains in others. In other words, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. Insurance will help protect my money and my family. The concepts that go with managing risk are make that gold multiply. Arcade said, for every one coin you save, have it reproduce its kind, even with others bringing you income. Guard thy treasures from loss. Arcade said to invest only where it is safe and able to reclaim when needed, and to seek the advice of the wise that are experienced with handling money. Ensure a future income. With this concept, Arcade said to prepare for retirement and buy insurance so that your family is provided after you die. And the last concept is increase thy ability to earn. Here, Arcade states that you must set solid goals and work to achieve them to become wiser and more knowledgeable. Beware of unwise debt and help the less fortunate are the last two concepts. In order to avoid unwise debt, you have to stick to your goals so that you do not become the men in The Richest Man in Babylon complaining to Arcade about their means of living. Last, helping the less fortunate will bring good karma because you are investing in the future of those who have the potential to do what you are doing. Thank you for listening to my Richest Man in Babylon podcast. Have a good night.